good there. So anyway, it's a hot day in summer in real life, but it's about to get a whole lot hotter. Welcome to the green hell for the last round of the DTM1992 Championship. The revival, as we should call it. We've got three or even four people for the championship title in the running for today. Eight people have turned up so far, 13 minutes to go. It's a big circus. This is the Nordschleife endurance circuit, I believe. It's got the Nürburgring involved as well. It's like a full loop. So this is going to be a very well, excuse my dogs, very well going to be like an 8-minute lap time here. Very well over 8 minutes. Like the man with the fastest time so far is Nordschleife and then the Mercedes car. The AMG was just put out 8 minutes 36.1. That's the benchmark for today. This is the second and only other time in practice so far. He set another time that is just a little bit over 9 minutes. So there's lots of. This is a very tough track. Not too many opportunities to overtake. So this is going to be. Well, I suppose it'll be interesting to see what the drivers get up to for today for the last round of the DTM1992 revival. PetrolHead wins. Also, excuse my dogs. My microphone is very sensitive and they like being loud. So sorry about that. So just in case this is your first time watching the DTM1992 revival on PetrolHead's, here's a basic rundown of what goes on this championship. So we've got around, right now in the session we've got 4 different makes of cars: BMW, Mercedes, Ford and Audi. These are virtual replicas of the DTM cars entered into the DTM Championship in 1992, and balance of performance has been given. So these are pretty accurate representations of each car. Of course, the Ford Mustang DTM is going to be very quick on the straight with the monster V8 taken out of a Trans Am. The Audi, the V8 Quattro that Audi put into the championship in 1992 is also here, four-wheel drive V8, not too much wing or aero. So in terms of cornering speeds, they're going to be relying totally on the four-wheel drive of the Audi. And then of course you've got the M330, light as a bag of crisps, and a little punchy engine to go with it as well. Inline 4, I believe. But it's a dainty little car, weighs nothing, corners very quickly. And then of course, who can forget the baby Benz, the Mercedes AMG 190 Evo. I think M330, a little bit heavier, and well, different driving styles required for the 190. And it's preferred, like lots of people prefer one or the other when they're going for two-wheel drive cars for the championship. It's very divided. Like each of these cars are unique in their own right, and they've got their own characteristics to drive with. They all require a different driving style, and they all excel at different parts of the track. So my guess would be Andy Foster's Mustang would be very quick because this is the Nordschleife of like half of it's a straight. So that monster V8 is gonna come in handy. But I'd imagine that the cars like such as the AMG and the M3 will catch up with them on the corners. Then of course there's the Audi. The four-wheel drive on those cars would be, because it's standing start, the four-wheel drive on those Audi cars is going to give them a really big advantage on the standing start. But it's just a matter of, will they run out of tire temperature? Because those outside tires, like those left side tires, are going to die within the lap if they're not managed properly, especially the soft compound. The four-wheel drive is very good, but it's very brutal in tire temperatures and it's very hard to control, if not impossible. So, very important to keep in mind. It's a very big dilemma with the Audi. Like, you either underdrive it and lose lap time in order to maintain your tire temperatures, or you keep going all out in the tires, keeping up with everyone else, and run out of tire temperature when you need it most, when you're racing someone. And also one of the big pieces of news is about Dirk Pfeiffer, one of the German drivers. He's driving the Audi V8 right now. He's about to set a lap time. He's going through the corkscrew as we speak. He says in the Discord that this is going to be one of his last races in R3E. Like, he says he's not getting that much enjoyment out of it anymore. And it's important, like, this is very important. Sim racing is supposed to be fun, and like everyone needs a break. At some point, it's important to sprinkle in some fun stuff in between the league stuff. Go for a small cruise every now and again. Doesn't have to be competing against people for a championship title. But I suppose my point is that Pfeiffer will be withdrawing from all the other championships he's in, such as the Endurance Championship, the monthly Endurance. So unfortunately we won't be seeing that second Bentley on the track for a little bit. So anyway, 5.5 minutes to go. We've got 9 people on the server, two lap times. Andreasen, the faster. So there's not going to be very much to talk about during qualifying and the rest of practice here, because everyone's struggled to, either hasn't bothered to attempt to set a lap time because it's practice, because of the lap time being so long, nearly a 10-minute lap for this circuit. But like, people are going to have to start setting lap times for their grid spot in quali, so hopefully for their best interests they have to stay on the track for quali whenever they do their hot lap. The race is when things really begin, so masterful slide from Dirk Pfeiffer. Very well done from the German. Another quirk of the Audi V8 Quattro is that the four-wheel drive allows you to get really sideways, and it will tolerate the craziest of drift angles.
which reminds me of drifting. This Wednesday, we're going to have a fun event. We're going to have to do a little bit of a drift competition. And this is going to be one of the favorite cars. Even though it's all-wheel drive, it's like, well, R3 isn't the best, and it wasn't really designed for drifting. But the four-wheel drive Audi gets it done great. 3.5 minutes to go, and 9 people have joined so far. So we've got 4 people, in theory, according to my maths, for the championship title. Obviously, we've got Henrik Andreasen. He wasn't here for the whole season. Like, for the races he's attended, he's dominated in his baby Benz AMG. Of course, leading the standings right now is Andy Darnell in the M330. He's attended each race, and he's backed up his championship hopes with really good consistency so far. But now he really needs to go all out. According to his math, he's been telling me he needs to score fourth place twice to secure the title from Henrik. Well, 4th place or better, mind you. And then the 4th person in contention is Jiri Kotochvil. So we've got an AMG, a BMW, and a pair of Audis running for the title. So yeah, I cannot wait to see some wheel-to-wheel action in the Green Hell today. Can you? 60 seconds to go. At this rate, I don't imagine people will be able to finish their laps that they have in progress. Very shortly we'll be moving on to qualifying. We've got some 8.5, 9-minute lap times to look forward to. So yeah, I wouldn't blame you if you went on your phone like half of qualifying. And God forbid anyone make a single mistake outside of track limits on their qualifying lap. Because if you make a single mistake, like around possibly 5-6 minutes of your time in the session is wasted. So you do not want to miss your marks. You want to drive it safe, but you still need to be, of course you want to dare to keep it quick. It's a very big gamble, now that you think about it. It's a gamble in the sense that you can push that little bit more for a little bit better lap time to get an edge of your competitors in the grid start. But if you happen to miss your mark and go wide, there's a very big chance that you waste around 8-9 minutes of the session redoing your outlap. Oh yeah, and a very big tip for people doing their outlap, if you're listening. At the end of the Nürburgring lap, next to the pit exit, no, next to the pit entrance, sorry, there's a small little chicane in the barriers that you're able to slot through. So you can start your qualifying lap, so you can finish your out lap and get straight to it. But it does involve finishing your Nürburgring lap though first. This version of the Nordschleife circuit includes the Nürburgring, so you know, just a little bit more tarmac to memorize and remember, more opportunities to go wrong. We've got very capable drivers here today, so I don't imagine that'll be a problem for too much. Glue is amongst the first to start their flying lap. Alphonsus' car, the BMW, the M330, very lightweight, weighs almost nothing in comparison to the other cars that he's racing against, with the exception of the AMG, but they're practically the same car, or the same style of car. So these Alphonsus is going to get huge time in corners, and in some cases braking distances as well if he manages to nail it. I've noticed that when I've driven these cars myself, most of them, and I have to say the AM330's brakes are better than the Audi V8s. They're all front engined, so that's something to consider. So because the engine's in the front, because the engine's in the front, like cars like the Audi and the Mustang with the V8s, those are big and heavy, and that's the weight distribution is towards the front where the tires are trying to steer the car, so evidently they feel like boats. At least when you're trying to turn them, but it all comes good in the straight. For those kinds of cars. So 25 minutes to go. This is going to be a half an hour in total. So it's been 5 minutes since it started. We've got 25 minutes to go on the clock. It's going to be around 9 minutes a lap, max. I say maximum, but that's a rough estimate, I'd imagine, of what these lap times are going to look like. 8.5, 9, maybe 9.5 for the back markers. But realistically, there's only going to be enough time for 2 to 3 laps here, 2 to 3 hot laps. So you really do not want to dip your car outside the track limits now. This is it. So something I've noticed on the Ford Mustang. So the Ford, what concerns me about that car, or at least what setup that Andy Foster's running, like I've noticed that his car is running slightly low to the ground. Like there's not enough clearance to the ground, and while spectating him earlier, there are sparks showering all over the place, and that can slow you down. So, just set up top tip and shoot. Make sure your car's riding high enough. Like I know, like the aerodynamics and the weight distribution might be different if you run it lower and all that, but you can't run it too low, or else there will be consequences. Photos Isoglu's coming across traffic. It's an Audi. On stream it's going to say that it's purple for 2 sectors, but in reality it's going to be the very first time of the session, if he doesn't mess up on this, but I have very good faith in him. So if you were here for the last stream, you might have noticed a second commentator with me. Normally he comes over, but I'd imagine he's a few things in real life to do. I'd imagine either that or he's a little bit busy, which I don't blame him for. I skip out on things all the time, but I don't think we'll be hearing from David at this stream anyway. He might be around next time for the final few rounds of the Evora Championship, or maybe even the drift event we've got on Wednesday. It's just me, I suppose. Tires break. Photos Isoglu's just spun in the barriers. He was 2/3 of the way there, but he's shunted. That's one of his 3 hot laps gone. He's gonna have to get back out in there on the track. Like the best thing to hope for is to set any lap time, a lap time, anything at all. And like there's bound to be people who can't set anything that keep invalidating the lap, and they'll be starting at the back from default. So if you set anything, literally anything, you'll be ahead. You'll be ahead of the people who couldn't keep us between the lines. Like it's hard to be patient like that. Like when you're hot lapping for position and any edge over a competitor you can get. But sometimes it's not great to risk it. Like even though you've got 3 attempts, if I would be driving here, if I were a driver of this championship, I'd be using the first lap as a sort of the first hot lap as a secondary out lap. Like not taking it slow by any means, but I'm making sure I'm getting around every corner, so I can have that insurance that I'll be able to be fast, so I'll be qualifying ahead of those who can't qualify. I can always improve my time later, of course. It's just all about getting that insurance that you won't be starting at the very back of the grid if you don't manage to set a lap time between the lines. And of course, when I say in between the lines, I mean track limits. It's not very allowed in racing. A little bit of traffic for Andy Darnell. He's on a flying lap. The Audi was blocking him. And with that, we get our first lap time of the day. Andy Darnell has set a benchmark of 8 minutes, 59 seconds, 0.5. Surely more lap times to come. Now here comes Mike Bartman in the 44 Audi. He's 1 second quicker in the first sector, and he's continued on to the second. I usually follow up a lot faster to see what other sectors are like, but I'm afraid that you're going to have to wait 5 minutes between each. But Mike is certainly on hustle and on a mission for pole, using that four-wheel drive to the best effect he can while it's cold, because once that overheats, it's useless. So a little bit more information about the race itself. There's going to be 2 races. There's going to be a 15-minute sprint and then a half an hour feature. Of course, with the reverse grid of the race 1 finishers. So if we do see a situation of a certain Mercedes car dominating for the most of the event of race 1, we'll get to watch him fight back from the back all over again. So we'll get a little bit more action in the feature, if that's the case. And even then, like as a driver, you never know what's going to happen during the feature races. Like, for example, like the last time I was in a league race was BRC, and during the last round of a DTM championship they were holding, it's a German community. I was there anyway. I started very far back, but well, not too far back, but out of reach for the majority of the good positions for the points. But I managed to get 5th in the end of the first race, and in the reverse grid, I managed to get 1st after the maths was done. So from there, I managed to get a podium. Would have been 2nd, got 3rd. Yeah, I believe it was 3rd. Maybe my memory is failing me. But my point is, I suppose, is that the feature race is going to be interesting because of the reverse grid. Because the starting positions the reverse grid offers can give some of the drivers in the back an opportunity to start fighting for the lead. Because, of course, we've all got drivers like, for instance, Jenson Button, an old Formula One driver. He admitted it himself in his autobiography. He was never that great in qualifying. He always came through in the race. So these in the feature race, the reverse grid positions can offer the leeway to give race wins to those kinds of drivers. But the question is, do we have any of those guys here today? And I suppose could they fend off Henrik on his charge? Because if you've been anywhere on the Discord recently, you've figured out that Henrik Andreasen practically lives on this car combo, and he was even shelling out car setups for each of the cars, barring the Opel. Oh, finally, Mark Barkman. Here he comes, and he's set a new benchmark, 10 seconds and a half faster than Andy Darnell's first time. It's 8 minutes 49.1. But Henrik Andreasen's going to go faster yet. He's in the third sector at the minute, but he's gone 5 seconds quicker than Mike Bartman's time. Minutes to go. We're starting to see a grid form slowly but surely in this massive track. But I swear to God, like, if I didn't know better, I'd say that Nordschleife was the country. Like, but that's how big it is, man. Like, I can easily think of the Nordschleife being converted into a public road and then making a town out of it. I would love to live there. That's another thing to think about. Like, if you were to think of which racing circuit would make the best neighborhood if it were to be converted, like from a racetrack. Nordschleife would certainly be the biggest to be a city, not just a neighborhood. But I wonder, makes you wonder, like if it were to actually happen in the future, then how much would a house at the Green Hill cost? So Henrik's on the home stretch now for his final lap. Well, I mean, not his final lap, but his first flying lap, his first set lap time. Fotis Isoglu sets third fastest with a lap time 13 and a bit seconds off the pace. Right now it's 25 and 8/10 off the pace because Henrik Andreasen just, he just stamps his authority. I suppose that's what we can call it. 8 minutes points. I'm speechless, but his driving speaks for himself. 8 minutes point 36.3. Like, that is a devious lap time there. If this is a glimpse at race pace, like, I think we have an obvious winner right now. Just give the trophy to Henrik. love that little hill in the first sector. There's a little area that goes like slightly vertical. You always get a little bit of airtime on the DTM92s. It's a fantastic camera angle. This is going to be a bunch of drivers' last chance to get a lap time, and people such as Dave Ziska, Dirk Pfeiffer, like those are the final two people who are on track. Like the rest of them haven't set lap times, and the rest of them won't bother because they don't have enough time to start and finish a lap. So if I were Dirk Pfeiffer or Dave Ziska, my advice to them is just calm down and finish the lap. It doesn't have to be anything fast. As long as you put in something, you'll be at least 6th place. Like, just as long as you finish the lap, you'll be guaranteed a 3rd row start. So just something to keep in mind. I wish I could reach these guys right now. Well, so you're going to have to leave for a second. I'm sure you can watch the action yourself. I'll certainly be back for the start of the feature, no, not the feature, the sprint. We'll see how things have gone then. I'll be right back. just in time for a bathroom break, and they still haven't finished the lap. This comes to show how long these lap times actually are. Dirk Pfeiffer is very, very close to setting his lap time. He's going to be guaranteed a third row start, but he might be faster than Photosysiclu. We'll see. In fact, he's taken third. Well done for Dirk Pfeiffer. Dave Ziska gets sideways in the last turn. Home stretch. 57, 58, 59. He's done good enough for P5. Unfortunately, Andy Foster is out on the track at the minute, but as there's only 2 minutes to go, he's not going to be able to finish the lap time. I suppose he's taking this moment to get acquainted with his Ford one last time before the race. I suppose I'll just give a PSA about the elevation change that goes on in the Green Hell. Like for a lot of the turns, this is a very old circuit, so this isn't built very even. And I highly doubt that people will want to repave it anytime soon. Well, it's going to cost like hundreds of thousands to repave like a giant circuit like this. Like I said, it can be a county for how big it is. But that also means you have to take into account the rough elevation change. You need to set up your ride height to account for that. In fact, in the Discord, one of our drivers, Hugh Kutachville, one of the people in contention for the title tonight, going off of what they were saying, one corner, she started braking, and then suddenly the fronts were in the air. And then Andy Darnell gave a little bit of a small remark saying, "I thought only Red Bull gave you wings." Well, don't be fooled. Such small bumps and such, many things of the caliber, I can upset the car. And you need to control the car in such a way that it won't spin as soon as you hit those bumps. You'll learn this in Dirt Rally. But anyway, it's finally time. We've got the sprint race coming up, 15 minutes, around 2 laps. Of this circuit. 2-lap race. And of course, like half of the second lap is going to be overtime. But anyway, we've got 15 minutes on the clock for the sprint. 11 cars on the grid, so no lack of attendance. This is going to be a pretty slick finale, I'd imagine. So not really much to go on about for these next around 4 minutes. something I must mention is Henrik Andreasen. From what I've gathered, he lives on this track combo and car combo, and when it really comes to you can really see it in his lap time. He's some 15 seconds or something stupid like that ahead of the other cars, or even the next guy in second place. Genuinely something to be marveling at. Anyway, I haven't done my maths yet on what Henrik needs to do to secure his title. Of course he's in the running, but so is 4 other people, and I'm too lazy to do maths, so take it as you will. So here we see a few drivers, such as Photosystiglu, practicing their standing starts. That's a very good idea, in my opinion. Especially for the M3s and the AMGs, because they're going to need any bit of practice and traction they can get over the Audis. The Audis are going to pass them anyway, but they need to figure out how to lose less time to the four-wheel drive system that the Audi offers. Without a shadow of a doubt, if the M3 driver is quicker than an Audi driver, they will pass him later in the race. But it's hard to explain it. On one hand, the race isn't won at the first corner, but getting positions at the first corner can certainly help you, and it can dramatically change the face of a race very quickly. And this might be where the Audi can shine best. Although I fear the Audi might have a few teething problems, such as managing the tire temperatures, namely the front left and the front rear. No, front rear, what am I talking about? Left rear. The four-wheel drive is very unforgiving in terms of tire temperature. So I'd imagine that in an effort to conserve the grip you've got in the soft compound, because of course there's no need for a mandatory pit stop. Although it's as we saw last time, people's tires in Nordschleife, I believe it was, people who ran the softs, they were quicker than people who were running the other tire compound available, which was the hards. But towards the end of the race, 3 laps towards the end of the race, people's soft tires began to pop and puncture because they weren't durable enough. And that's where people on the hard compound started to gain time. So it makes you think, because obviously for the feature you'll be able to run soft without any problems whatsoever. But for the feature, with the amount of corners that this track has to offer, over half an hour, it might be in your best interest to run the hards. To any drivers in the chat, very good luck to you all. And for heaven's sake, keep it clean. So this is it then. 20 seconds of intermission remaining, or less, depending on how quickly these people get ready. This is going to be the people's last chance to set their fuel all the way back up. It's happened to me before on the Nordschleife or any other race. Running out of fuel is a big problem. Points ahead of the drivers. And it's go, go, go. Henrik Andreasen is on side by side next to Mike Bartman. Dirk Pfeiffer is side by side with Mike Bartman. The two Audis jockeying for the championship title. That's Fotis Isoglu smack bang in the centre. He just came in like Romain Grosjean that one time in Formula 1. It's going to be a little bit of a talk with the stewards, I'd imagine, after the race about that one. Dave Ziska is in P6 at the minute, chasing down Andy Darnell for P5. Arnold Koch in P7, so getting a little bit sideways, trying to get as much track time as he can over those curbs. Ziska and Andy Darnell have made a very good move around Andrea Piazza. Piazza managed to defend P6 from the other AMG, Arnold Koch from Germany. Thierry Coutacheville and the Audi are last mathematically. It's mathematically possible for Thierry to win the title, but it's not looking too great for Thierry right now in the Audi. It's in P8. I didn't see much of that lap 1 incident, turn 1 incident between that M3. But I did see an Audi being hit, so that might have been Thierry Coutacheville. Although then again, Thierry didn't qualify, so she could have started like that. So anyway, this is it now. Continuing on into the Nordschleife and more cars. Over the hill I was talking about. People are going to have to be very careful. Might have to lift a little bit, maybe even brake. Just going to be bolder and carrying as much speed as they can. People will overdo it and go to the barrier. Like Thierry Coutacheville just did. I just noticed I didn't see the number at first. I didn't expect Thierry ever being in the barrier so quick. I suppose that's it then for the title chances, I suppose. Andy Darnell is in P4. According to his math, that's what he needs to secure his title. And that's the number 1 Audi in the barrier. That's Thierry Coutacheville again. Audi is destroyed. The front end anyway. Can she get it going again? I'd imagine the suspension would be very bad right now. Managed to get off of the barriers. Here we go, another Mustang number 51. In 8th place is Ricardo Costa, chasing down Andrea Piazza on the Audi. Piazza's in the grass. That's a very bad accident and a very bad day for Thierry Coutacheville. They just cooked under the heat of the Green Hill. They don't call it the Green Hill for nothing. This is a very tough track. Dave Ziska scrapes the right side barriers and gets hit by Arnold Koch on the side. Arnold's that gives back the position. He realises that it was aggressive. That's very good sportsmanship from between the AMG and the BMW. The 51 of Andy Foster is off. And that is our second DNF of the day, I believe. or to the effect of it. Andy Foster is 30 seconds off the next car and 1 minute off the lead. Here Contageville's already DNF'd, held escape early. Hopefully we should see her again in the feature. But anyway, here's Fotis Issiglu. A little bit of a moment at the race start, but now he's going to try and make up a position for P8. He's tailing an Audi of Andrea Piazza. Andy Foster still hanging in there, although albeit that Mustang is very, very smashed up. So for the most part, this race has cooled down very much. And as I say that, there's another Audi. It's another 45 car. Dirk Pfeiffer, I believe. Dirk Pfeiffer was in P3 at the race start, and he just overcooked it. I don't believe it. I thought that he was going to be a podium contender for sure. That just comes to show, like, even the people who are at the front, they're not invincible. Anything can happen in these touring car races. That bumps up Andy Darnell for 3rd place, and this is Dave Ziska to 4th. Fotis is trying to find any way he can around Andrea Piazza, but Piazza says no. He doesn't want to drop any more positions today. And if he does, he wants to give a fight for it. Side by side, in the 3rd sector, Fotis Issiglu and Andrea Piazza. Looking on the inside. Meanwhile, Arnold Koch in the AMG. Getting very squirrely there, chasing an M3. Can't tell who it is. It's Dave Ziska in P4. If Arnold can keep it cool, he might have a very easy P4 on his hands. Solid midfield points at the season finale. And that's Andy Foster again. He's spun. He's 1 minute to 30 seconds off the lead. Increasing. Well, that's a season end. That's the end of Dirk Pfeiffer for now. Very disappointing to see that. To know that this is going to be the last of him we see for a while. I imagine, but I suppose that not everything can be sunshine and rainbows in sim racing. Things do go wrong, and especially in the front-engined cars. If you shunt head-on, then it's going to immediately go damage your engine. So it's very easy to kill these cars if you go off. And of course we're at Green Hell, Nordschleife. So it's very easy to get a little bit overexcited on the right foot. That's all it takes. One pump at the wrong time at the right foot. You're around in a barrier upside down with a dead car, and you haven't finished the race. Arnold Koch is on the outside of Dave Ziska, manages to take 4th place. Very well done from Arnold. Arnold has started P8 and gone up to P4. Piazza, meanwhile, hit the bumper of Fotis Issiglu. Fotis managed to get that move done off camera. Piazza starting to understeer all over the place. I think the tire temperatures are running out. Arnold Koch has spun in the Nürburgring section of the track. It's the end of P4 for him. And with that, our third retirement of the day, Arnold Koch at the AMG. I would have thought he would have been able to recover, honestly. He had Dave Ziska on the ropes. He was doing very well. Shame to see him go. Meanwhile, Henrik Andreasen is building up a dominant lead. Business as usual for the Viking. Around 14 seconds back is Mike Bartman, the next closest car in P2, in the Audi. Mike is currently in the running for the championship as well, so this will be solid points for him. But I fear coming into the second lap of this race, the Audi is going to be running out of tire temper. That's a car upside down. And that's Piazza. The 45 Audi. He did a barrel roll. We saw the aftermath on that on camera. He was down and not out. He's still ahead of Andy Foster. Foster isn't faring too well either. That front end of the Mustang is very, very mangled. Makes you wonder how that engine's coping. Pretty down on power, which is no good in the Mustang. Displacement is everything in those kinds of cars. If you don't have the engine, you have nothing. Oh, that's the 9. Dave Ziska. He spun. He needs to get back on the track right now before Ricardo Costa comes and overtakes him. He needs to be very quick. Just missed him. Dave Ziska's in P5. Ricardo Costa's in P4. Thanks to DNFs and good racecraft. Very good from the Mustang driver. He might be using that top speed to good use. Henrik Andreasen's gone very sideways there. He almost spun into the barrier and crashed out. He's mastered the Mercedes car though. It appears even on the grass he managed to keep it under control. Very big moment from the Viking there. This was almost a very big moment that Mike Bartman could have capitalized on. In my opinion, Henrik doesn't need to push anymore. He's got a 16 second lead over Mike Bartman. So he doesn't need to push very much. He just needs to finish the lap and he's won the sprint, essentially. He just needs to keep his right foot under control. It makes you wonder if he's running out of tire temperatures as well, if he's pushing too hard on the outside tire. Like, of course, in the straights, because of how long they are, you get a lot of time for the tires to cool down. But sometimes it isn't enough, and it just keeps adding up and up and up. Henrik manages to keep it calm, and he's extended his 16-second lead to 19 seconds now. Meanwhile, there's Mike Bartman in second place. Andy Darnell is 16 seconds behind Mike. Ricardo Costa's had a moment in fourth. Dave Ziska's back at it. This is going to be a battle for the last... well, I was going to say podium place, but they don't give them trophies for fourth place now, do they? Dave Ziska is using the lightweight attributes of the M3 E30 to master his way around the track in a way that the heavy Mustang can't. Dave Ziska needs to get past this Mustang and make his time as quick as he can through the corners before this massive straight comes. because at the end of the lap, there's on the Nordschleife, there's a massive straight, longer than most drag strips actually, and that's where the Mustang's going to be able to make that time back. So Dave Ziska is going to need to make that pass now if he wants any chance of victory, or not victory, 4th place in a championship. Championship points is going to be needed now more than ever at the final round. This is going to be Ricardo Costa's one of his best results. He's off into the barrier. Ziska's beside, goes through. That Mustang's got suspension damage, it's copping all over the place. Ricardo Costa is cooked. Ace to defend what he's got now, he's come home with the points. But now in 5th, 6th place is Fotis Isoglu. Fotis still has a relatively fresh car. He's going to use that to his advantage before the straight. Oh dear goodness. Ricardo Costa was on for a very excellent finish today, but it just wasn't to be. Round and around and around goes that Mustang. Damaged suspension, damaged aero, damaged bodywork, damaged pride. That's it for the sprint for Ricardo Costa. So we're coming up to the penultimate corners of the Nordschleife right now. Dave Ziska, despite making a mistake, managed to make his 4th place back up, but Fotis is chasing him very close. Dave needs to make his time now before Fotis can slipstream, or else that P4 will be out of his reach. They're side by side effectively, going into the penultimate straight. This is going to be incredible. It's going to be a drag race essentially. Fotis on the outside takes 4th place from Dave Ziska. Ziska might be able to do something into the next corner. The penultimate chicane. Ziska's looking into the inside, to the outside. Fotis shutting the door. Dave has better exit speed. Look at him go. It's going to be side by side drag race to the line. And Fotis just edges him out. Fantastic stuff for the DTM revival. That was exhilarating. Very hard fought from Fotis. Dave would have had him if that start-finish line was placed just a few hundred meters further front. Very good race from Dave Ziska. Meanwhile, Andrea Piazza, back in P7, is about to finish his lap. And Andy Foster is around a minute behind him, but we'll be switching sessions before that. Look at how smashed up that Ford is, the 51. I've driven the Ford before. It's not an easy car to drive. Especially trying to... Like, the Mustang can be fast, but it's incredibly hard to master. So we've got a little bit more data in the Discord now. We've got some new standings. So someone's done the math for me. Thank you very much, Arthur Gross. Shout out to you. You're my favorite human calculator, bro. Thanks, man. So, standings going into the final race is going to be Andy Darnell in the first place with 127 points, leading the championship. Andreasen is in second with 117 points, and third is Mike Boschman with 106. So we saw even Henrik Andreasen towards the end there get a little bit squirrely on the start of his second lap. He managed to contain it, but it comes to show that he's getting really, really close to the limit. But it'd be all over if you pushed the envelope a little bit too much. These cars do not have any patience whatsoever for impatience of drivers. And without hesitation, they'll throw you into a barrier with a broken engine and end your race. So well done to Henrik Andreasen in the AMG. He wins. Sails without much competition. Mike Boschman has done very well to finish second place in the Audi. He's done very well to manage the tire temperatures appropriately. And Andy Darnell's done very well to keep his title chances in check. In third position, fifth place would be enough for Andy in this feature race. Andy would need fifth. Sorry, I was going off earlier. He would need fifth place to secure the championship title. So that's it for a few minutes. Take this time to get a few more snacks on your hands. Maybe explore the Discord. Join the conversation. Love to hear from you. So I'd imagine that the strategy going into this final race of the championship is going to be on the hard tires, because the softs, while they're substantially quicker, there's not going to be enough time to make a pit stop to get any more use out of the softs. And in half an hour of running, they're going to be blowing off the rims, I'd imagine. Punctures galore, as we saw in Norris Ring last time. It's going to be 4 laps straight of the Nordschleife, all of which at full race pace, or at least they're going to try to race. This is going to be a round of endurance. All right. So if I have to, if this is set up correctly, I'd imagine that I'd be able to do interviews with the people in the commentator chat with other racers. So Henrik's on the track right now, so I'll leave him alone. But Henrik, you're in chat. You can probably hear me. If you'd like to do an interview of how you feel going into the last race, how you're feeling, whether or not you can do a little bit of a last minute overtake of the standings, let me know if you want to do an interview, bro. I suppose I'll do Andy first then. He's in very good running for the championship. One small problem though, he is, I cannot unmute him actually. Anyway, I don't know, I'll do it afterwards. After the dust is settled. No point in going what ifs and whatevers now. Let's go for the facts afterwards. After the half an hour, 4 laps straight racing of Green Hill, we'll see how it goes. Sorry, Arthur, you're gonna have to wait a little bit. I can't unmute these guys anyway because I don't have permissions, so sorry, man. You have to wait until afterwards. So we got 60 seconds to go of warm-up. I'd recommend the drivers here go to the bathroom while they can. Half an hour of Green Hill. Holding back bowel movements is not advisable. You just have to believe me on this one. Trust. Or if you're spectating, I'd imagine this will be the prime time to get some snacks now. The race start's always the most exciting part of these kinds of races. I need a source. Like, remember those in the cinema? They used to do these paper 3D glasses with the. They used to do these things where you could watch the movie in 3D, and they give you 3 pair of glasses or something to watch the movie in 3D. Like, they're made of paper, like the red and white lenses. I had to source myself one of those so I can watch this in 3D, make my job a lot more fun. But anyone else remember that? Those were the days. Cars are getting into formation. All the DNFs from last race will be coming back to compete in this race start now. Fotis Isoglu is going to be starting in first position. Ahead of that's either a 4 or the number 9 BMW M330. There's an Audi in P3 and another BMW in P4. Henrik Andreasen is going to be starting in P6 starters. Andreasen starts P6. Andy Darnell starts P2, so he's got that little bit of an advantage. For the last time, for DTM92 Revival, 5 lights ahead of the drivers, then it's go, go, go. 4 wide going into the first turn. Andy Foster's made it all the way up there. No, he's not. He's stalled on the grid. Never mind. But Ricardo Costa's made it ahead into the first corner. 3 wide still. A little bit of a banging and bashing from Andrea Piazza. Goes wide. Andy Darnell manages to get out in front. Piazza second. Andreasen third. And Dejziska fourth. They're still side by side in the midfield. Versus is dropping all the way down the order. Must have had a little small bit of an accident. Henrik's already gone into second place. Now there's nothing between him and Andy now. It's going to be a straight fight for the title. Whoever wins gets the title, I'd imagine. Andy Darnell has gone across the grass. Henrik Andreasen goes through on the inside. He had superior corner exit speed, but Andy goes into first position. Andy Darnell's in second place. He needs to defend from Andrea Piazza. Dave Ziska's back in P4. He's fighting off a swarm of Audi V8s on his tail. He's getting boxed in. He's had to take to the grass to avoid being backed into a pack of Audi V8s. Gary Kotochville, although out of the running for the championship, is all the way back in the mix in P6. And that's the 51 Mustang. It's Andy Foster. I believe that's, I don't know, the 2 Mustangs have the same number. I can't figure out which one it was. Is it either Foster or Ricardo Costa? Arnold Koch has just wrecked someone. I didn't catch who it was. That's a very big mistake from the German in the other AMG. Cock. Dirk Pfeiffer. This is going to be his last stint for a while in race room. He's in P6 in the minute. He's got the pace to catch up. Number 1, here at Kotochville. Spins again. It's not a very, very good circuit. Not very good, very knowledgeable. I mean, it's a terrible day for Huey. Back in P9. Dirk Pfeiffer's now back up into 4th place. He wants to continue what he had left off. The podium position ending off on a high note for this community. At least until he comes back. I hope he comes back. He's a really excellent driver. He's always excellent fun to watch. Always puts on a good show. Dirk Pfeiffer, you'll be missed after this meeting. It's between him and Mike Bartman for P3, the last podium position. Meanwhile, Henrik Andreasen slowly but steadily building up his lead. 8 seconds on Andy Darnell. Dirk Pfeiffer's taking to the curves. He's taking a slightly tighter line than Mike Bartman. He's getting better exit speeds than him. He needs to watch his tire temperatures though. That's where Mike profited from the most on his last stint. He needs to watch. Dirk needs to be careful of his tire temps as well. If he runs out of tire temperature, he's going to be slower. And then even maybe Arnold Koch might catch up over time. but for now he needs to keep his highs ahead of him for P3. Sky's the limit for Nordschleife. So the Audi drivers have been, for the most part, separated, apart from Mike Bartman and Nordschleife. Two other Audis, they've departed from the running of the lead a long time ago. Andrea Piazza was starting very far up front. His four-wheel drive allowed him to start practically towards the foot of the grid, but in the end he understeered and now is practically at the back of the midfield. Statistically, once starting on pole, got hit again. He was the aggressor at first, but I'd imagine maybe it was revenge. I have no idea. I'm a steward. I need to be looking into this after the race. So good news for me. This is going to be fun. But here's Dave Zwiska in P8. Something's happened to him too. He's usually all the way up there. And I was just need to tiger his way back up through the midfield to salvage the last points he can from this championship. Mike Bartman's in P3. Anthony Darnell needs to keep that Audi at bay. He needs to use the lightweight chassis of the M330 to his advantage. The Audi might have four-wheel drive, but it's a brick at heart. It's really heavy. So even if Andy does get overtaken side by side, number one Kratochville in ninth, he's spun again. Smashed up Audi at the middle of the track. Very upsetting. Here's Mike Bartman in third place. Andy Darnell has to defend the best he can. He needs to coax that Audi into using too much tire temperature. On the hards is next to impossible, but the Audi is a boat. Even if he does get overtaken, he's going to be able to be more bold in the works than the Audis can. He'll be able to go for moves that the others won't dare. It's the magic of the M330 winning. Harry Kratochville has had a terrible day on the track today. A finale to remember for Harry Kratochville. Mike Bartman, looking at the slipstream on the back stretch, using that V8 to good use against that M330. Andy Darnell swerving left to the left-hand side of the track. Now to the right. He's going to be on the racing line for now. He's trying to break that toe off that Audi. Defense is key going into this next chicane. Mike thinks about it, but realizes that there's no space. He's really mature about it. Superior exit speed with Mike Bartman. He's going to be using that toe from Andy Darnell. Meanwhile, in the background, Harry Kratochville is having a very bad day. That once an Audi V8 now looks like a Chevrolet lowrider or something similar of the kind. That's Andy Darnell's gone very wide off the track. Mike Bartman's in second place. And Mike won't be the only person to capitalise off this if Andy isn't careful. P4 is Dirk Pfeiffer. He's half a second off of Andy Darnell's rear bumper. He's determined to end this series on a high note. Unfortunately, he got caught up in an accident last time, which prevented him from finishing high. But now Dirk waits for an opportunity, and that opportunity has come. It's side by side. Andy was on the inside, he had to lift in order to make the corner. It's Pfeiffer in third place. Very well done from the German. Now he has to set his eyes back on second position, trying to catch Mike Bartman. 20 minutes to go, and it's lap 2 for Henrik Andreasen. Is in the lead right now. He's looking very good for the championship. Mike Bartman, 20 seconds back, is in second place. Dirk Pfeiffer is second off him. Andy Darnell second off Pfeiffer. And from the looks of things, Andy's looking very good. He just needs to keep this up. He's going to have a very good shot at the title. I don't know what happened to Andy, but he's dropping severely back from Dirk Pfeiffer. Remember, he needs P5 or higher to keep his championship alive. Not everyone in this series has had too much practice with those hard tires. You only ever want to use those hard tires if the soft tires don't last the full race distance and it's no mandatory pit stops. Pit stops take too much time on these cars. And in any situation, it's going to be faster. If you have the option of a pit stop, it's going to be faster to do softs, then switch to softs, then go a double stint on the hard compound. It's not a very good tyre, but the tyre needs to survive 4 laps of green hell. So people have been adjusting their strategy last minute to compensate for that. We saw it last time in Nordschleife. Lots of tires were busting, and the people who were running hards really profited from those who were running softs. Because while the soft tire is better than the hard tire is better than a punctured soft. So keep that in mind. All the front runners from P1 to P4 are running hard compound. Arnold Cook in the AMG in P5, he's running softs, and he's going to start he's going to be overtaken by Dave Zisco in the hard once his tire pops. It's without a question, it's going to happen. It's green hell. Too many corners in half an hour. Those tires will burst. And another thing to mention is Hira Kutoch-Phil is also on the softs, and despite that, she's been spinning. And maybe because of that, those softs are going to be very burnt out, and as a result, it's going to be bursting faster. So another nail in the coffin for Hira Kutoch-Phil's title chances, if it wasn't already very bad. Dirk Pfeiffer is sticking with Mike Bartman. sticking within 2 seconds of the next Audi in front of him. German versus German, 2 mates duking it out for P2. Arnold Koch needs to moderate his driving pace, and he needs to moderate how hard he pushes on that soft compound, otherwise it will burst, and that tire puncture is going to be a living heck to put up with in the closing stages of the race. "15 minutes to go, and Henrik Andreasen is still in the lead. 30 seconds back by Sparkman is there. And in third place, Dirk Pfeiffer remains in 2 seconds. 2.5, more like. 2.5 seconds back, Dirk Pfeiffer. He's waiting for Mike Bartman to make a mistake, and if he does, climb second place. But for now, Andy Darnell's in P4. He needs 5th or higher to claim his championship. That one race where Henrik Andreasen didn't attend might be the grave factor of the AMG driver not winning this championship. I didn't believe it at first when I saw the possibility, but when you do the maths, all it takes is one round. Andy Darnell's been that consistent. And that's Dave Ziska. He's in the wall, he's losing a lot of time. Finally gets going again. He was there for a solid 10 seconds. And number 9 Audi, no, BMW. So that's looking very smashed up. Smashed up bonnet. Fotis Isoglu's right behind him now, looking for a little bit more points. Fotis has a relatively fresh car, is willing to put that to his advantage. Dave Ziska is very lucky that that direct hit didn't damage his engine. Well, I mean, I'm sure it's got damaged a little bit, but usually shunts like that kill it instantly, like fully instantly. I suppose Ziska is one of the lucky few. It's another thing that you won't see again after the 90s in most of the racing that you see now. Lots of the race cars built today are made from I'll shut up now. Panel for P4 actually, for Andy Darnell versus Arnold Koch. Arnold Koch passes with relative ease, but he's going to be slowing down very soon because of that soft compound. But Andy's gone very slow for some reason. He's usually a bit faster than this. Fotis Isoglu and Dave Ziska are side by side. Fotis is off. Hits the side of the barrier. Meanwhile, Andy's sticking close to Arnold Koch in the AMG. Dave Ziska is 2/10 off of Fotis Isoglu's rear bumper. Very close indeed. Too wide going across the start-finish straight. Dave Ziska takes 7th place once more. Now both the cars are damaged now. Both Fotis and Dave Ziska's cars are damaged. Down the inside, he's looking at it. Fotis Isoglu might have a move here. Doesn't quite get it done. Fotis is going to have to wait until another overtaking opportunity to get that move done, or maybe another mistake. the Slovak. Dirk Pfeiffer, with 10 minutes to go, is in third position. He's doing very well to keep up. Within a second now of Mike Bartman. This is going to be a battle for P2, I'd imagine. Either Mike Bartman is starting to slow down or Dirk Pfeiffer is starting to speed up. Either way, it's going to be a battle for the second place. Andy Darnell's, meanwhile, has been dropping down to P5. He's starting to get slower and slower, but what he's doing is really reminds me of Alain Prost. He's not fighting people because he knows that 5th place or higher will deliver him that championship title. And he wants to avoid as much fighting as he possibly can. Although he could possibly he could have gone fast, a little bit faster. Like, you don't have to, which is a very mature move, which I can respect. Here he is, and he's been caught speeding in the pit lane. They will be penalised for that accordingly, I'd imagine. Here he is, 3 minutes off the lead. And that's a drive-through penalty for Yuri Kutashvili. That is very sad. I'll say it again. Once a championship contender, it's hard to believe it now, but she's been putting in solid results all season. It's a shame to see Yuri throw it all the way now. And all fair, but everyone else around you is coping, so you'd be expected to cope too. It's a duel between Audis. Lap 3 of 4. It's 2 Germans battling for second place and 2 different Audis. This is Pfeiffer's last time racing in PetrolHeads for a very, as he said in the Discord, for a very long time. He wants to end this on a high note. Something I've noticed between the two is Mike Bartman is getting relatively sideways. Not sideways, he's taking wider lines to carry speed through corners, but Dirk Pfeiffer is driving the Audi properly. He's prioritizing exit speed because of the four-wheel drive, and as a result he's been getting closer. He's 9 tenths behind now. Okay. Finally we have at least one driver who knows how to extract the most from the four-wheel drive Audi. That's Fotis Sissiglu. Spun and out the back right now. 1 minute, around 2 minutes off the lead. Along with Dave Ziska with us. Both of them have smashed up cars. He's getting closer. Dirk Pfeiffer is getting closer to Mike Bartman. Half a second now. Dave Ziska is overtaking Andrea Piazza. He's side by side for P7. P6, Ziska has a very smashed up car. I'd imagine it's very hard to drive it. Straight struggle just to keep something like looks like that straight. Suspension damage is terrible. Well, any kind of damage is terrible, but if I had to pick something to be damaged, if the whole car was, oh Jesus, that was a very forceful maneuver from Dave Ziska. Andrea Piazza's spin around. Dave Ziska realizes this and concedes the decision back to Piazza. That's very good sportsmanship from Dave Ziska. Photosystically goes through. Anyway, I apologize for taking the Lord's and Saviour's name in vain. My genuine reaction. I didn't expect that out of Dave. He's not usually the very forceful type. So Henrik Andreasen in first position, 42 seconds ahead of Mike Bartman. It now begins the fourth and final lap of the race. Ziska in second place, catching up to sixth. Andrea Piazza is making mistakes. On the grass, side by side, he rejoins. Too many errors for Andrea Piazza. The Italian spins again. Barrier. Why have I stopped talking? Dave Ziska is chasing down this Audi now. Piazza's making so many mistakes right now. He's overcooking from the pressure. And it appears that Dave Ziska is as well. He's going off a little bit as well. Ken Fotis and Piazza all have that in common. They have to endure one more lap of the all those three cars, Piazza, De Ziska and Zisoglu, all have smashed up cars. They have that in common too. Seems to be all but cooled off. Dirk Pfeiffer is starting to drop back from Mike Bartman, unfortunately. Went from 2 seconds to 1 second to 8/10, then back to 2 seconds. But Dirk is still in prime position to capitalize off any mistakes that Mike makes in this final lap. Andy is still in prime position to win the championship. 5th place is all he needs to secure this title. So not very much to... Yeah, everything's more or less cooled off now. Andy Darnell's 5 seconds off Bernard Koch, but that's the best chance I suppose we have an overtake at this stage of the race. Everyone just needs to keep their endurance up and finish where they are. And the championship points will be all worth it. Finishing a half an hour feature race at Nordschleife is a very big achievement in itself. Everyone should get a trophy for that, in my opinion. truth be told, if I were to be, like, if I were to go and if someone were to go back in time and ask me, like, at the beginning of this championship, who would be winning the championship title, I'd say Henrik Andreasen without a doubt. And if Hendrik had one more round and won that round, it would have surely been his game. But he missed. He did miss one round, and unfortunately, Andy will get the better of him through his very good consistency. He's always near the podium, Andy Darnell. So yeah, at the closing stages of the race, how did you guys enjoy this? If there's anything you ever want to know, if you want to ask me something in real time, like on the way that we're streaming this, I can't read YouTube chat, unfortunately. If you want to ask me a question, go to the Discord, the PetrolHead SimRacing Discord server, and like a lot of information can be found there regarding to our events, such as the timetable and everything's happening, what's going to happen next. Even like you can even sign up for races yourself there, and what do you know, you'll be live. I was going to say live television, but this isn't really. I wouldn't say you need Sky Sports to watch this. You can just watch this on your phone, but for simplicity, I'll just call it live television for now on. And Faustus Isaglu is off. He's managed to throw it away. He's at the back. And Dave Ziska's no longer dead last. Faustus Isaglu has a very, very smashed up car now. Total write-off. It's a shame David's Jankowski couldn't be here today. He would be a very big help. There's a lot of times I have silence. It's not always like this. If the race is exciting enough, I suppose, it's always something to talk about. But when it's all cooled down, it's always handy to have a second person to chat to. Like he's starting to come back into it now, so it's starting to get a little bit more interesting. He came in a little bit of a last minute surprise appearance at that last Evora round we had. Like look through the live streams if you can. Try like that last Evora round that we had, like the newest one. Look into that and go like halfway through. Like David's a cool guy. We want you back, Jankowski. Come on, be there for the next one, man.